The main difference was Kate and Steven.
Yeah,
We're live
for
though.
sure.
So so the show for Friday, just so you two know, is going to be Walt Disney World for extroverts this week.
Oh,
Where will
okay.
extroverts thrive at Walt
Oh,
Disney World? And
okay.
next week will be Walt Disney World for
Introverts. Got
extroverts.
it.
So, Mike,
It's
some
my
housekeeping.
Yes,
I think I'm out the next 3 Sundays
that's okay. We'll make it happen.
because I have 2 of them. I'm in Hawaii,
I know. Oh, that's understandable. Now
and then but next week's is like the parent student planning for Hawaii. So, and Liz just might go and handle it, but just so I'm question mark for the 16th.
Well, if you can make it, it'd be great. But if not, I get it. It's fine. We'll make it happen.
Well, I've been so annoyed. Like why haven't we not had like a parent meeting at all? Like to know because I got to know where the handoff is going to be, like from when the band hands Emily back to us. Like I don't know.
Kind of late, isn't it? Like
I know exactly.
You're like
they leave in 10 days.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know anything.
Oh no, that's terrible.
They don't even have the itinerary online.
They plan like we do our podcast. Like, hey,
they just know the Pearl Harbor date is all.
Oh, well,
at least
there
they
you
got
go.
that. But
they plan like us.
Yeah.
Just
like what the heck? Like I don't even know what flight she's on.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay, yeah, that's.
But I know Liz can handle it, so I'll probably have Liz go because now I'm saying it out loud, I feel kind of bad that I'm gonna bail on you 4 Sundays, I guess, because you out of nowhere you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna record again last night.
We'll make it. If you have to go, yeah, I can do them on my own. I mean, I did them on my own for years. So, but they're more fun when you're here. But I'm reading a Karnak real quick. Hang on.
Oh, geez. But yeah, I will be. Yeah,
I got
Hawaii for 2 of those Sundays.
Len is here, another Sparty fan. We will have no Wolverines standing on our mascots around these podcasts. I'll tell you that. Sparks will fly. We'll kiss the Spartan guy.
I thought Coach Izzo was going to retire yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. So
see that.
So they cut the game always after, but they're all on senior night. They always do this awesome presentation, especially after you win the Big Ten. So they raise the banner and all that. We've done it 11 times under it, so it's just kind of like a normal last Sunday.
What you do
of the season tradition for us, But so they always do this great thing and they talk to the crowd and all that. This is where I miss my season tickets the most, is just for that one game. I just love senior day. But the way he was talking yesterday,
get nervous.
Dude, I was so nervous. Because he's like, let's bring, I know I got a lot of former players in the house. Let's bring them in. My first recruit is here. Come on, Steve Smith, come to the floor. You guys know Steve Smith. He was a Hawk too. He was a legendary NBA player too. He's got everyone coming on the court, and I'm like, oh my god,
make me nervous. Yeah, when they're all coming back.
I was like, I understand it's a big homecoming day with the Wolverines, Big Ten celebration, but oh my god, and then he started saying all these words that felt like this was it. Then he started bashing Michigan, which was awesome, and then but no, I thought he was gonna say this was my last game at the Breslin. I swore that's what he was gonna say.
Yeah, you're like, okay, somebody cut his mic before he says anything.
I was like, he needs to announce it so that I can re-up season ticket or buy out a bunch of tickets, because I will go to every game the year that's his last one. But anyway, I know we got to record a podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Let's do a show. All right. So listener questions. You have a question, please put it in the comments. And Len saw Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson grew up in my neighborhood, kind of.
It's so cool. All right, here we go with listener questions for Wednesday. Oh, wait, I close that Discord. That thing has been, because of the free agency today.
How about Len, with the male cheerleading? I like that too. So you were trying out for cheerleading. That's what I'm talking about.
That is awesome. Dude, I was all about. I've been watching cheerleading all weekend because they were down at Walt Disney World. All right, here we go. What number? 2655. Welcome to episode 2655 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. And We are back here to answer your listener questions for the midweek, where spring has sprung in the Midwest. Mid 70s, sunny, and yes, little spring fever here in Missouri. Love it. Going to be 80 by Friday. Gotta love that. Has me thinking about summer times down at Walt Disney World. Our Disney cruise, the podcast cruise, coming up in July. I am ready. I know I just got back from Florida this past weekend, but man, I am itching to get out and think about summertime, which is just around the corner. But we may have some questions about cruising, maybe about Walt Disney World this summer. Who knows? We'll open up the inbox. And of course, we record live. So if you are tuned in live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you're listening or watching us as we record, drop those questions in and we will answer them with the experts. And speaking of the experts, they're here today. We're missing one. Pam is on the flight back home from Walt Disney World. So safe flight to Pam and Steve. So good seeing them this weekend. But joining us today, we have Scotty G from Must See Adventures on YouTube and up in Lansing, East Lansing, Michigan. Got to have the East, right? That's important, right? Scotty G, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in Lansing, and then I just moved a couple zip codes over. You know, it's all the same thing. East Lansing. Okay. Fun fact: East Lansing is just one zip code. So if you ever say, like, if you have to ever give your address or anything in town and you say East Lansing, like, everyone knows what it is. They don't even ask what the zip code is.
Really?
Oh, yeah, 48823. That's East Lansing.
Dude, everybody tuned in, already learned something today.
There you go. But speaking of East Lansing, we kick off the Big Ten tournament. This is like I have so many favorite times of the year. I'm such a positive person. I love all times of the year. But man, when the Big Ten conference tournaments start for men, actually the women's tournament was just going on, but now the men's one is starting. It just you feel the spring, like you were just talking about, Mike. And then you got the NCAA tournament for both men and women, and then you got the Masters that come on over that, and then baseball starting to thrive and all that. It's just a beautiful time of year indeed.
I learned something on radio today that the Big Ten, I guess this is new because the Big Ten has expanded to be so many teams in the conference.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Not every team makes the Big Ten tournament. And I was watching Barstool, Iowa and Barstool, Nebraska go back and forth. Apparently Nebraska didn't make the tournament.
Nebraska did not make the Big Ten tournament.
Sorry. I had to do that, Wade. Sorry, I'm just messing around.
But the worst part of this is the Big Ten tournament had one of the coolest tournament logos. It was like this pinwheel of like all the teams' colors. It was like super cool. It like was at center court, but now there's too many teams, and now it just says Big Ten conference tournament. Boring.
I know the things we lose for pride.
At least maybe they could just put the colors for the teams that made it.
You know, the Sports Open Line again. Yes, and Pam's Rikki's mom says,
"Yep,
Rikki is yawning down here." So Rikki's joining us from a Disney World after all.com and the mouse for less.com. Rikki, sorry, we're talking sports because it is time to fill out those brackets. And we are going to mark you safe from brackets on our podcast because we know in the Disney community, every podcast puts every single thing in brackets for the month of March.
And as it should be. Brackets are awesome.
The brackets are awesome, but we don't have to, because every podcast does this every year and everything comes out the same because it's always going to be the same. Like the Polynesians always going to win.
Always going to win.
I mean, and Stormalong Bay is always going to be the best pool. It's just how it is. So why do we need to put them in brackets right now? We're good. We're going to talk about other stuff and leave that up to other shows. So Rikki, what's going on? Happy Wednesday. How are things?
Happy Wednesday. And yes, we are just back from our fantastic adventure at Give Kids the World. And I just wanted to send a huge thank you to everyone who donated, who, won things at auction, everyone who participated, who watched, who asked questions, who, everything. We were able to raise $16,000 for Give Kids the World as of right now. However, I will say that if you would still like to donate, you can. So even though the auction is over and the fantastic auction items, you can't win those anymore, but there is still the ability to make a donation to Give Kids the World that still works through the link that we have. The link is on our Facebook page and it's still on our socials as well. So you can find it there. But you can click the first one, which is make a donation, and then you can donate to Give Kids the World. And then we'll have a final total. I'll end up having that here in the next week or two for everyone. But Yeah, so thank you very much to everyone. And also, I'm getting some questions about shipping items. So for anyone who won anything from the Give Kids World auction, I mentioned this at the end of the show, but I'm not sure if everybody heard. So
we apologize. We were echoing down there the whole 6 hours like we were Lou Gehrig in Yankee Stadium in the 40s. And we
Yes.
apologize for that. It will not happen next time we were there. That I have not slept since I got home because of that, because I'm a perfectionist. And it's driven me crazy, but we apologize for that. So clarify here where it's crystal clear.
Yes. Okay. So it's crystal clear now. So what's going to happen is the Give Kids the World team is actually going to go through every single item one, and they're going to combine it all into one box for the winners. So that way they're not shipping out 15 different boxes to win, the same winner, stuff like that. So you'll have one box, and you'll actually get sent an email, and it will state how much the shipping is for your now combined box. So once you pay the shipping email, once you pay that price, if that comes from the shipping email, then they will ship your items to you from Give Kids the World. So you're just, as of right now, and you're just waiting for an email from Give Kids the World that will say, here is your shipping total, please pay this, and then we'll ship your box. So they said they were going to work on all of that this week. And I expect that everyone will be getting an email this week. By the end of the week, if you haven't gotten an email, just let me know. And I'll be able to get you in touch with Kate, who's at Give Kids the World. And then from there, they'll ship everything out. And I would assume that, once they start shipping things out, it'll be probably about 2-3 weeks or so. If you haven't gotten your box by then, again, let me know and we'll work things out with you. But I just wanted everyone to know that that's kind of the process moving forward with the Give Kids the World auction. So you're still waiting on one email, and then everything will come to you in one box. So that part's good. So
efficiency. And again, thanks to everybody who was with us on Saturday, and thanks for the great donations, over $16,000 so far, but you can still donate this week. So please go to the Facebook page, click the link, click donate. Remember, when you donate, you are purchasing ice cream scoops for kids to have, families to have ice cream for breakfast. That's what they do down at the village. How cool is that? They go through a lot throughout the year. This is the awesome week where they can have ice cream for breakfast all week and pizzas for the families to take back to the villas, and they can just go back, crash, have a family pizza party. How cool is that? Instead of being in the hospital dealing with doctors and medications and IVs and shots, hey, let's have a pizza party in our village after a fun day over at Universal or, SeaWorld or Walt Disney World. That's that they're going to make memories around, those family pizza nights, and you can make that happen. So let's do that. Let's, I'm not really worried about the totals. Let's just do that. If you have a few extra bucks, you maybe got a tax refund this week, or, it was just a better week. Let's just make that happen. We got a few more days on that. So just go over to the Facebook page and do that. But let's get the show started. And we're going to do a Karnak the Great. Rikki, you weren't here last week. Scott and I busted out. These are from 2014.
Oh my!
Talking about Karnak, so these are a little bit out of the. They go back to a time and place at Walt Disney World in 2014. So here's today's. I got the old sealed envelope here in my hand. So I'm gonna put it on my head like Karnak used to do. I don't have my my hat like Karnak. I have my Disney treasure hat on today because it's spring around these parts. I busted out a white hat. I felt springy. So let's see what the envelope says. Like Karnak used to blow into the envelope. And it says Disney fireworks. What do you think the question is? Disney fireworks. That's the answer.
What cost $80,000 a day?
I like that.
Great answer. That is almost correct, but no, it is. What often happens when the family unit spends too much time together in the parks?
This is also true. Yes.
That's a good one.
Right. That is right. All right. Let's get to the questions, and we need questions in the comments. So we have lots of folks tuned in, but we would like your questions here live as you're tuned in. So, hey, Mike and everyone on the Be Our Guest podcast. Love listening to the shows, and it gets us very excited for our trip in April. My wife and I'll be traveling to Disney World with our 2 children who are 6 and 4 from the United Kingdom. We'll be staying at Port Orleans Riverside for 2 weeks. And although we have the quick service dining plan and are looking to get some groceries delivered to the resort when we arrive, things like water and park snacks. What are our options as a family traveling from the UK for places we can order from? We know there are some services that we can use before we leave for the UK, but we would be paying more than ordering in the US to use these. We are unsure if we can use US ordering options, Walmart, Target, etc., with not having a US address. Any help is appreciated to help us plan this part of our upcoming vacation. Thanks for your help in making the last weeks of our countdown more bearable. Chris and family over in the UK. So getting some staples delivered to the resort over at Riverside. I guess like water, Gatorade, sodas, Rice Krispie treats, Pop-Tarts, stuff like that you can just grab and go in 2 weeks, and they're gonna have a great trip. Scott, have you ordered stuff? What you got?
It's been a little while since I ordered stuff, but so pardon me if I sound dated here, going back like the Karnak, 2014. But
exactly.
Like, is Garden Grocer still around? Because I used to use Garden Grocer. Like,
I believe they are. Yeah.
And really, really good trust. I mean, they're still around, so like longevity there with Garden Grocer. So really good services. You just go to their website and they have quite the catalog of stuff that you can order from. Even if you wanted alcoholic beverages, you can even order it, but you would just have to make sure you can verify your identification, make sure you're legal drinking age when they deliver it. But I've also used Amazon in the past too, and that's been really solid for me. So those would be my 2 options, and they deliver to the resort.
In Riverside's clutch because it does not have a business center or some kind of a convention center. Because if you're like a yacht club, they have a convention center. So sometimes your stuff will end up at the business center. The same for Coronado Springs. These places that have conventions, every once in a while, your delivery will go to the business center. Then it'll get locked in there and you have to pick it up during business hours, and it can be a hassle. But places
there's usually a fee associated with it.
Exactly. It's like a get out of jail. Like, here's $8 to get your box. And so, yeah, Riverside, French Quarter, these other places, it just goes to Bell Services. They throw it in a fridge. Stuff needs to be refrigerated. It's easy peasy. But yeah, I've used Amazon with no issues because they have pretty extensive stuff. But Garden Grocer is going to have like your real groceries. Even, I think they even have things like produce. I've never used
that. Garden Grocer is really solid.
Yeah, but they have the most extensive options.
Yeah. And it's pretty straightforward. You just put your name in, like the name of the resort. And even if it doesn't ask you that, like if you're using Amazon, just put your name in, and I just always put it in care of, and then I put my name. Yep, and it works out really well.
I put like CO, Mike Rahman, guest at Port Orleans Riverside, and I think I put the date like I'm arriving. Like, I don't know.
It works really well. Yeah. So
Rikki,
then they'll give you like a time frame, like a time window. So like, I personally try to be there. If you're having a 2-week trip, I think definitely maybe planning on a day you're not in the parks, you're just lounging at the resort for your delivery. That way, you're there, because while Bell Services can hold like your groceries for a while, but like if you're getting like produce or like fresh things, like I kind of want to just make sure I'm there so I can get it right away and start packing it in my room.
Yeah. I always try to get it like day 2 or day, even if you can get it to where it's there, like waiting for you if you want. I mean, that's some people do that. I get it like day 1, or I just make sure I'm, like you said, I'm there. Rikki, have you ever gotten delivery, or you just bring stuff?
No, I just bring stuff. I tend to, I'll stop at the store before, or I'll stop at, say, a Target or a Walmart or a Publix or something like that. If I need something, on the way or whatever, I'll stop there and grab something. Or as I did when I had a impromptu hotel stay this weekend, a CVS for coffee and sugar and creamers. So
there you go. I love the delivery though. Like I've had a trip where I had like 4 different things delivered, like just from Amazon, like a charger or something. Like I've had shirts delivered. Like I was wearing ordering these funky like matching shirts for me and Emily, and like we just kept dropping in throughout the whole trip. It was hilarious.
Well, in Orlando, Amazon's got the like 2-hour delivery. Like we don't have that as available here where I live. Like, I mean, they have that Amazon. It used to be like called Prime Now, or no, I don't know what it was called. Something with the groceries, especially. Like you could just get like a 12-pack of Coke Zeros. Boom, they'd be there in 2 hours. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Oh, this is amazing. with your Amazon Prime account. Yeah, I was like, this is if I had this would be dangerous at home. It was crazy.
It was
I
awesome.
remember that one summer I did the same thing. I did go to but speaking of that, I went to the Target right there that's kind of on the other side of the road from Disney Springs. This trip
Yeah.
when we were there, because as soon as I got on the road to the airport with my dad on that Thursday, I was like, dog, I forgot to pack my running shorts. They're in the dryer. Because he got there so early to pick me up to go to the airport, because my dad's like, I'll be there at 12:30. Of course, my dad's sitting in the driveway at 12 o'clock. And so my dad, he's, you know, if he says he's gonna be there at 12:30, he's there at 12 o'clock. So it got me all off my game, because I was like, you know, wasn't totally ready. So I forgot my running shorts. So then we got down to Orlando. I was like, I'll just go to Target and buy a couple pair. So we had to go to that Target, but that Target's nice. That one across the street from across the street from Disney Springs. Like,
I've been to the one at Flamingo Crossing as well, which is small but nice.
That's a very small Target.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is a very small Target. Yes, but it's
like
nice.
you might be able to get your waters, and that's about it. No.
Yeah. If you're just eating like basic essentials, that one will have it, but it's definitely a really small Target.
That's a big Target. So if you need a big one, it's that one right there on 4 across from that new. It's like the whole new development. There was like all kinds of nice stuff, and there's a.
We went to that one the last for spring break. No, we actually went to it for our Thanksgiving trip, and like we really liked it because it was like brand new.
Yeah,
I think that Mexican restaurant that you went to was like right over there too, isn't it? Like with Jay and the Shine, like and all of them.
Yeah, I don't know, because I just followed.
I think it was right there too. Yeah.
It could have been like next door, and I wouldn't have known. Like you probably, who knows? It's just, I don't know. I don't know the lay of the land. All right, Len's got a question. Speaking of Len, our good friend out in Maryland, at the Riv in early April, we need to get from the Riv to Akershus for 8:35 ADR when early entry is 8:30. Concerned about the Skyliner availability at morning rush from the Riv. What would be your strategy? Okay, so let me think this out. He's at the Riv. He's got to get to Akershus.
I mean, as a Spartan, he should know that the Riv is a trashy bar in East Lansing, not necessarily a nice, sophisticated Disney resort.
He's moving on up like George Jefferson from the old Riv to the real Riv, or the fake Riv, or however you want to classify that. I don't know. So how would you? So he's gonna obviously. I mean,
that's tricky. I just don't know. I worry about Disney Skyliner
getting on at the Riv station, like availability of the bucket speed, because like
that early in the morning, it probably shouldn't be that fine. But yeah, I mean, he's actually right. I mean, the empty bucket thing is a real thing where, like, I would go down to the main hub, at Caribbean Beach, which isn't that much further of a walk, but like that way you're guaranteed a bucket like sooner, because that is a real issue. Like just standing there waiting for a bucket.
See, I've never stayed at the Riv except that one night with you when I crashed with you guys. But do they not send like every 10th bucket empty?
No, that's why I've said they should always do. They don't.
I thought that somebody called in and said they did. Like somebody that worked there. I thought we had a cast member call in, or somebody had a cast member like kid or something, like maybe.
Yeah, we did, but I don't think they did though. I don't know.
They should. I mean, if you're staying at a deluxe resort, they should send like every 15th, bucket gondola, like should be an empty. Come on now. Like you're staying at the Riv. Yeah. I would ask about that. You know what? I would ask like my first day I'm there and be like, swing by, and be like, look, what's the policy here? Like, am I going to have a bucket? Because I mean, that is kind of a long walk. I mean, but
I think a lot of times, my guess though, in the morning though, they're probably like cramming people in with like more groups, so I think they're going to have a bigger group because I think it's like an extended family trip. I don't think it's just Len and Jen on this one. So, but I mean, I think it's fine. I think you'd be fine, Len. And then just kind of learn. I don't know if this is like the first morning of your trip. Just kind of learn what the hours are early on in the trip, and just kind of be there a little bit earlier before the hours start. And then I like the strategy though, because then you'll be backing in through like World Showcase, and then just cut over to the right, and then you walk over to Norway. I think that would be a shorter walk than coming through the front of the park. So I like that.
And for the record, I think this is the perfect character meal for this family, for that like Akershus, like I said, 3 generations, 2 grandchildren. Like
that's gonna be great.
Man, that's such a great meal to go to. I mean, Len knows what's going on.
I hope they still have those like breakfast potatoes. That was one of my favorite dishes in all of Walt Disney World. Like the breakfast potatoes in Norway, those things are so good.
Got to quit recording these at dinner time. I mean, I know it's early dinner time, but I mean, come on now. All right, Samantha's got a question out in Columbus, Ohio. Speaking of Big Ten country, hey Mike, I'm going to the world in April with. It sounds like everybody's going to be there next month, but it's gonna be fun. I'm going to the world in April with my sister, mom, and 8-month-old daughter. My sister, mom, and I are avid Disney goers, and this is our first time going with a little one. My question is about rider swap. I understand how it works. If you're initially waiting in the standby line, one party waits in the standby line. Then they swap with the second party who waits in the lightning lane line. That's a lot to say. How does rider swap work if you have a lightning lane pass? Does the first party wait in the lightning lane line, swap, then the second party also waits in the lightning lane line? That doesn't really seem like a time-saving benefit like the standby rider swap. Let me know if you can help answer this question. Thanks, Samantha. Rikki.
You got it exactly right.
I'm not reading it again. I'll tell you that. That was alliteration at its finest in that email.
It was, yes. No, so that's exactly how it works. So the first group will go in the lightning lane, and then line, whatever. Yeah. And then they'll ride the attraction, and then the second group will go through the line. So yes, that's the way that works.
I guess there's really, I mean, I'm trying to think like logistically how they could, there's really no other way to really go.
I mean, you're still saving the weight of the standby queue, so you still are saving time. It's just, you're going to have to wait, somebody's going to have to wait in the lightning lane and then somebody else is going to have to wait. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You're avoiding the standby queue the second.
Correct. Exactly.
That's what you're avoiding.
Yeah.
So there's still a benefit to it. Good question. And thank you for all the L's. I got my L.
L's.
Yes. That was fun. All right. Amy's got a question. Dear Mike and the BOGP crew, hope you are doing well. I'm reaching out to seek your advice about an upcoming trip. After many, many trips to Disney World, I'm planning a one-day visit to Disneyland in March with one of my daughters during her college spring break softball trip to Southern California. Currently, I've purchased a one-day pass to Disneyland with a fast pass, photo pass, well, I guess it'd be a lightning lane, for March 20th. We're still good. We'll be staying in Carlsbad, so not on site and not in Anaheim. And we'll probably have some curfew time. I guess that's for the softball team because they have to be in, if like for athletes, to return my daughter to her team in Del Mar. I'm worried that I'll be disappointed that I didn't spring for the park hopper. Do you think we will finish she said Disney World, but I think she means Disneyland, all of Disneyland before the day is done? In Disney World, we are not generally park hoppers and usually do one park per day, but I understand that it is different in California. I'm also open to walking around the Disneyland Hotel and possibly the downtown Disney area. What do you think? Do you think we'll be all right with Disneyland only tickets? I'm planning to come back at another time with my family of 5 when we probably can go for more than one day. We have a trip planned for a few years. We had a trip planned for a few years ago for our whole family, but had to cancel. Also, is the Disneyland app separate from the Disney World app? Do you have any advice on great things to do or to read to prepare? Thank you so much. Really love your show and don't miss an episode. Amy is out in Maryland. Okay, let me tackle the first part, then we kind of jump into the other stuff. There is a separate app for the two destinations. Disneyland has an app, just like Walt Disney World. So to search the Disneyland app in your app store, it looks very similar and functions very similar to the Walt Disney World app. So just download the Disneyland app and and what you'll do is you'll connect your reservation to it, whether it's a ticket or a hotel where you're not staying on site. So just download the Disneyland app and just look at it, get familiar with it. That'll help you. That's kind of step one is what I would do, is download the Disneyland app. So there is a separate app for that. So do that. Now, what do we say about they've purchased a one-day Disneyland ticket with lightning lane. So they have photo pass. They get their pictures. That is a benefit with lightning lane out at Anaheim. What do we say about that? Do you just do the one park?
I have thoughts.
Well,
But
you have time. Let's talk
I
about it.
know. So I'm just thinking, like, I would normally say park hopper all the way because it's so
Right.
easy to park hop, and Disney's California Adventure is my favorite domestic park for Disney. But with the curfew and everything, and then like it's not your full family, you know, because you said like your family might be going out on a later trip. I think I would just stick to Disneyland Park and just have a wonderful day in Walt's Park.
I actually agree with Scott. I know, right? Who would have thought? I the same thing. Like I would have said no, get the park hopper, but because of the limitations on this trip, I feel like that's going to be the better option. Is to just go to Disneyland, enjoy Disneyland, really get the broad scheme of the park, enjoy Walt's Park, and just go that route. I really feel like that's the best choice overall.
Yeah, I'm right with both of you guys. There's so much to do in Disneyland that you can fill an entire day, even if you go from rope drop to park closing, and your daughter could stay for the entire time. Which curfew with a softball team on a road trip to Southern California could be called at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, which means it's cutting your day to 60% of the time, or 70% of the time, which would really negate the ability to spend time over at DCAs. And like you said, if you want to take some of that time and just go down through downtown Disney and check that out, maybe have a lunch there, maybe just peep out the Disneyland Hotel, walk around and see Trader Sam's or Tangaroa Terrace, or just walk into the Disneyland Hotel. There's a great store in the Disneyland Hotel. The gift shop's awesome. Just check out the little, they have in each tower, there's a little kind of model of Adventureland or Frontierland or what have you, Fantasyland. It's cool to check out. So I would say this is the time not to spring on a park hopper, even though I say love park hopper.
And if I did that, I would just put in my word of advice, like I'm on the fence of exploring downtown Disney because you just got the one day, so I would like really want to soak up Disneyland Park. But if you do decide to do that, take the monorail out from Tomorrowland.
Oh, good call.
Monorail.
Yeah.
I believe the monorail is running out there. That's a cool experience as a Walt Disney World fan, hello monorail, like you've done that before. So do the monorail at Disneyland to get over to, because that basically takes you really close to where the Disneyland Hotel is. That would be that'd be a cool way to, if you're going to explore downtown Disney, to head out that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, you're going to get that taste of Disneyland. You'll be back with your family and then get the park hopper and definitely spend at least 3 days.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I know like I rather have the whole family when you're doing like the park hopping and things like that. If you just got the one day, just stick to the classic. I mean, you're going to have an awesome day. I can't add more than what Mike and Rikki said, but like it'll be a really good day.
And they asked where to get like information and stuff like that. I'm gonna highly suggest the Unofficial Guide to Disneyland. It is the ultimate book for learning about all things Disneyland. So that's gonna be my suggestion, is to pick up that book.
Or if you want to just fly out Rikki and she could just be like,
right, I'll just walk you around. Exactly, I'll be your personal tour guide. I have no problems with that. You pay for my trip, I'm cool. Bring me along. I
would offer myself, but I'm flying to Hawaii the very next
that's
day,
true.
so.
That's true. Brian just watched Lucy over the weekend. He can watch her again. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm almost an empty nester. Like I never see my daughter at this point, and my wife's still teaching for another couple months. I do love Disneyland. I'll take you. Hey, they have canoes. I'll row the canoe. Let's go, Rivers of America.
There you go.
I love the canoes. I'm telling you, Buckley tells you.
That's going to be the next Give Kids the World donation item. Like spend a day with the crew in a park.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Row a canoe. Okay, we got a question from Josh about Lightning Lane multipass. So I don't ever buy I do it at Disneyland. I don't at Walt Disney World. So here we go, guys. Hey guys, I'm listening to the show. I've been listening to the show for the last year or so, and I've learned so much. Wow, I'm glad somebody did. Definitely appreciate all the great discussion. I'm doing my first ever Run Disney event at Springtime Surprise with my sister and her boyfriend, and we are doing the challenge. Congratulations. I'm glad you're getting your first taste of Run Disney. It's going to be fun. They haven't been to Disney in the last 10 years, while I've been each of the last 3 years, so I'm tasked with the planning. We are currently planning to do Animal Kingdom / Epcot on Friday, Hollywood Studios on Saturday, potentially also Epcot, and Magic Kingdom on Sunday. We are heavily ride focused, so we're getting multi-pass each day, as well as some single passes. My question is about multi-pass strategy for the Animal Kingdom and Epcot day. We'll be running the 5K, and I'll be the slowest of the group at around 30-ish minutes. Baking in
Jeez, that's still pretty fast.
that's what I'm saying, dude. You have really fast friends. If your 30 minutes is the slowest, you're like, pew. Okay.
Mhm.
Baking in an extra half hour for potential character stops, although not 100% planning on it. I think we can be back to our hotel room and ready to go at 7:30-ish. That sounds about right. We will be getting a single pass for Flight of Passage in the morning and for Guardians in the afternoon. But I'm wondering whether we should get multi-pass for Animal Kingdom or whether it would be better to book it for Epcot and get rides for after we hop over. Will we be able to hit all the main rides at Animal Kingdom like Navi, Safari, Everest, and Dinosaur without multi-pass and get to Epcot by around 1:00? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and thanks, Josh. That's kind of his thoughts. So what say you two ride experts on that strategy?
I'm booking the Animal Kingdom passes
Rikki, you're muted.
because, and before I'll explain, and then Rikki can jump into.
Yeah.
So I'm booking Animal Kingdom passes because I always have this little theory that the later the day for Epcot, the busier World Showcase kind of gets. So like I feel like you can hit up. I mean, and I know you got two attractions out there. You got Ratatouille and you got the Frozen Ever After. But I feel like you can do a lot of, and I'm going to call it Future World. I know I'm wrong. I feel like you can do a lot of Future World without getting those lightning lanes. Plus, once you check into your Animal Kingdom one, you can start making some for Epcot later that night. So I say take advantage of it early. That's always my strategy with the multi-pass. Take advantage at your first park. Then once you hit that first touch point, start booking for Epcot after that and start stacking some for later in the day.
I again agree with Scott. I think this is, yeah, I know. Look at us go. Yeah. I think that's a great plan. Because then you can make sure that you get the Animal Kingdom attractions done. And yeah, early in the morning, the Animal Kingdom is definitely not as busy, but the park does open first usually too. So it builds up pretty quickly then, once people start getting going and everything like that. So I would definitely book the lightning lanes for Animal Kingdom. And then, like Scott said, then as the day progresses, you can start making those ones for Epcot, and they should be available for Epcot. And like Scott said, most of the attractions in World Nature and World Discovery should be available, by that point too. So there's usually less wait times for those, except for things like Guardians or like Frozen and Remy. Those are the three. And then did they say when they were going? Did they mention when?
It was going to be that Friday over Springtime Surprise.
Springtime Surprise. Yeah. Oh yeah, so then they don't have to worry about Test Track. So I was going to say when Test Track opens as well, that'll be a whole.
But book that first Animal Kingdom one at 8 right away, and like the strategy here is once you check in, boom, you can start making your next one. That's when you can start park hopping too. So like, just book early and book often.
Yep, that's good advice.
You'll find yourself having a wonderful day, and like try not to go too crazy because you got a 10K to run the next morning.
That's true.
Good advice. There you go.
That's true.
If the slowest person's running a 5K in 30 minutes, they're cake. They're fine, dude. They're totally good. They're flying.
At least save some for the 10 mile.
Yeah, save a little. Yeah, save a little, but man, they're flying already, so we're good. Okay. Let's see. One more question here, and it's from Georgia. I don't know where they're from, but that's their name. So, but
is it our friend Georgia?
No, it's Georgia with a last name that starts with P and it's super long. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Let's see. Hey, Mike, BOGP crew.
It's Peach. My family Georgia Peach. Sorry.
It's Papa Chronopoulos or something, but it's not that. I got close. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. My family and I will be going on our first Disney cruise ever on the Disney Wish. We are so excited. It'll be a land and sea trip, so we'll be hitting the parks the Sunday before the cruise and the Saturday after we return. My question is, can I get a 2-day park ticket and use it one day before the 4-night cruise and one day after the cruise, or do I have to get 2 sets of 1-day tickets? I heard somewhere you have to use your tickets within a certain amount of time after you use your first day. Hope this makes sense. Thanks for all the good information and entertainment over the years, Georgia. Well, thank you so much for that.
First
And
Disney cruise, I love that.
it is.
Mhm.
You're going to have the best time, and this will not be your last Disney cruise, as I am clad in Disney Cruise Line attire today because I can't wait for my next cruise. Now that I'm checked in, I got cruise fever like Scott. Scott's got it. I got it. I can't stand it. I'm ready to go. This is the biggest pet peeve I have about land and sea with Disney and the whole situation is that you used to be able to do this. Back in the day, it was not a problem. You cannot do this anymore because
Mhm.
tickets have like a 2-day like grace period. Basically, it's like a +2 on your tickets. So if you get like say a 3-day ticket, you have 5 days to use it from the first day you use it. So like, say you get a 3-day ticket, you use it on the first day, then you have a 5-day window to use those 3 park days. So a 1-day ticket, I mean, you have to use it. I think a 1-day ticket, you have to use it that day. I don't know. We don't sell 1-day tickets as travel agents. We're not allowed to. We can't sell single-day tickets. But you're not going to be able to like a 2-day ticket. You're going to have to use it within 4 days, so it will not hold over. So unfortunately,
It's a serious bummer because it's like the same.
It
trip.
is. Yeah, I know. It's totally the same trip. Yeah.
Because I mean, the situation is a lot of people will come down like 4 days before a cruise, right? And then do like a 4-night cruise and then stay, 3 nights after a cruise. You'll make it a big like 10-day vacation. So, but you'll want to maybe get a 7-day ticket or something and say, I'll use 3 before the cruise and then, maybe 2 or 3 after the cruise or something. You get a 5-day ticket or something like that. And we used to be able to do that back in the day, but no, not anymore. It's such a pain in the rear that they should make like a cruise ticket or something.
They should.
We got to share some feedback. Maybe on a survey, I can share some feedback.
I share it all the time because I talk to them every day. I'm like, come on now, because the agents at Disney Cruise Line, they feel
They
me.
know too. Yeah, no one's trying to cheat the system and like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this other day 5 years from now. Like, no, I'm trying to use it 5 days from now because I'm going down because I'm spending more money on a ship.
Exactly. I mean, and I know like it's a certain, very minor segment of the population that's going to Walt Disney World that's doing like the cruise, that's doing like the world cruise world situation. But it is, I mean, it's also your loyalist fans. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people that are spending good money because they're going to the parks twice with a cruise in the middle.
I'd want to do that. Like I would. Then your other option is, I just had a resort stay and go to Disney Springs or whatever.
Because that's what I've done the last couple of times, right? Like
I guess you could have the water park.
Tickets.
You could have the water park day when you come back, but
Oh, that's a good call.
That is a good call. Yeah, it is something. Do that on the front of the back end. Yeah, go to a water park with resort stay. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's show. If you have a question, get it in our inbox. It is Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Just put listener question in the header, and we will get that on the next show for you. But until we get back together on next Wednesday's listener question show, don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruise Line adventure. And the best part, no additional cost to you. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys allow us to keep this show going, the video hosting, the podcast hosting, the website, everything. And can't do it without you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest coming your way this Sunday. So come on over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can connect to us on social media as well. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. You can catch Scott at Epscott, EPSCOT. You can catch Rikki at Rikki Nibs, RIKKINIBS. But Scott's at Must See Adventures on YouTube. Scott, what's happening on the channel real quick? What's happening this week? Anything new as you get ready to go out to Alani?
I know I got to start getting some videos posted. It's going to be a short video. Our next one is going to be mostly like a hoop-de-doo review at the holidays, which is actually really unique and really fun. We'll be in the parks a little bit too. I wasn't recording much that day. I don't know why, but still want to share it because I thought the hoop-de-doo at Christmas was really cool. So Make sure you subscribe and check it out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Going to have a big giveaway when we get there. So make sure you're tuned in.
The push to 1K
The
It
push
must
to
be a
1K.
thing.
That's gonna be the hashtag, Mike.
Make it happen. And Rikki, what's happening over at DisneyWorldAfterAll.com? We got all the breaking news with the Starlight Parade and the
I
new
know.
picture over at the studios coming, Monsters Inc. All that happening.
Yeah, we got that. So all the latest news is up about what was announced by South by Southwest this past weekend, and then working on some videos on my social. Just uploaded one this week about my overview of my weekend, but I have individual videos that are going to come up too about like the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, saying goodbye to It's Tough to Be a Bug because that's going away here soon. And some dining reviews and stuff like that are coming up as well. So definitely want to make sure and go check that out. I even did a little bit of Universal stuff that's thrown into the overall video, had a really good time this weekend. And so I got some content that's coming out on the site for that too. So.
All right, check that out at DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. We'll have a live call-in show this Sunday night. So join me. It's 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Scott will be there if I can force him to. We're going to see what happens.
I'll probably be there.
I know.
I love the Sunday live shows. I love them.
He does. He's got a lot going on because he is going to Hawaii. So we're giving him a 2-week break because he'll be out there, at luau's and wearing leis and going to the golf station. I'll be following him by my friends, thinking it's awesome. But so we'll be.
You know what? Like the live show will start at like noon my time, I think. So just give me a call. I might be on the beach and I'll chat with people.
Oh, dude, we'll call you. Yeah, dude. Now that you said that, I will definitely call you because it'll be ridiculous. And we love ridiculous because that's actually kind of what Friday's show is going to be about extroverts and ridiculous situations at Walt Disney World. So anyway. We're going to get out. Don't forget, we don't see you in the clubhouse. That's where we have fun all the time. That's kind of ridiculous at times too. Like on Monday, when we're recording this show, free agency started in the NFL. We have a Sports Center channel. Crazy thing blew up all day. I mean, it's just like beep, 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 beep. And so if you're a sports, it's like really the greatest sports social media in the world. I mean, but it's on a Disney Discord channel. It's crazy. Anyway, coming over beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right. We'll catch you on Friday. Have a great day. For Scott and Rikki, I'm Mike, wishing you an awesome one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was a great show. That was a good one.
Nice. It was good. Good input for all of us. Yeah.
Episode 265.
It was just funny. Like I see Jason the hoop at Christmas time. Like you would have thought that there would have been a Christmas overlay, but I was actually surprised.
Yeah, there's actually not one. Yeah, that is surprising.
No, there is. There is.
Oh, there is?
But I thought I just like went into it thinking like, oh, it'll just be like the normal show because our friend Beth.
That's what I thought. I always thought it was the normal show. I never heard that they were doing a special
Oh my
one.
God! Like they sang Christmas songs and all. I mean, it is awesome.
I've never heard Disney talk about the fact that they do a special. That's why I didn't think there was one when you said that. When you kind of like said, I thought there would be one. I was there's not one.
The banjo player was playing the Christmas song and like having.
Oh, I can only imagine
Christmas and
how much harder it is to get into hoop. And that actually now that I really want to go to hoop at Christmas.
Yeah, it's the best. It really is.
Oh my god!
Just Pioneer Hall like is all decorated. There's Christmas trees and all that. It's so. I mean, they still do a lot of like the main show stuff, but like there's just interludes that are very focused on the holidays.
I had no idea in my entire Disney career, but I've been doing, on Disney stuff for over 20 years. I had no idea they did a Christmas show. That's
so dang good.
I love it.
And Veronica's like, they haven't even seen like the normal version.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Normal version.
It's almost like it's like the Great Movie Ride. Are you gonna get the
Are you gonna which one are you gonna get?
Jason and Veronica, they only do Christmas, even in August. There's no normal version.
Yeah, they just do a normal one for them in like April.
Exactly. It's always. I thought about taking my dad to that because it was available the night we were like.
Yeah, it's fun. Because that's a unique Walt Disney World thing.
He would have liked chicken, right? He would, but like, I was like,
It's a lot.
Yeah, we went to Olivia's. I was like, we're going to take. I was like, that's.
But it'd been cool for him to see. Like, you would have been like, "What? This is Walt Disney World?" Like,
yeah, he would have totally been geeked out over it. But I mean, that would have been a lot. So.
Yes, Jason, I agree with you. I do need to get the cookies and cream beignets at Halloween. I've been trying to do it for a long time, but it's just so hard to get over to Port Orleans. So I need to do that too.
Hoop might be a really good thing to say in this next episode too.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
You are. Yes.
I got to tell you a story about my dad too. I'll do it. I'll save it for the show because it was hilarious. Okay, here we go. Let's get going. It cracked me up, and it's because of Jason, Veronica, and Jason. I got to get it. Hang on. Let's see here. Oh, dude, there's a good timely one from 2014. I'll do that one. Karnak.
Oh, the Karnak.
I got it. I'm hooked on the Karnaks. Okay,
That's funny. Why were we even talking about that last week?
No, we got to talk about Letterman.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about Letterman. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, because I was talking about Pearl Jam. Like I watched this Eddie Vedder reel from like back in the day. Yeah.
We go down these rabbit holes and I can't give them up. Okay, here we go. 2650. No, that's not 26. It's 2657. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2657 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Yes, we made it to another weekend here in the spring where it is going to be 80 degrees and stormy here in Missouri. Big storms heading our way, so hopefully everybody stays safe. I know it's been wild down in Central Florida this week. So thinking of our friends down there, but we are going to have a good time today talking Walt Disney World for extroverts, which I think the three of us pretty much are. We're not typically introverts. We'll do introverts next week. So we know we have a lot of folks who would much rather listen to a podcast than get up and clown. But today's for folks like us, the folks who don't mind being behind the microphone. But we're going to do both sides of the story, kind of like Paul Harvey back in the day. So your time to kind of just go to the book nook and listen to the show and be like, what about us? You know, we like to enjoy Walt Disney World, but we don't want to be the star of every show. That's coming next Friday. We promise you. We'll give you your time next Friday. Today is for all of us who don't mind being what my wife always says. I guess this is the new slang. She says, Mike, don't be the main character. I guess that's like the new thing. Like, why are you trying to?
That's true. Yes, I get that.
New thing. Yeah, she's like, that person right there is being the main character, and it cracks me up every time, and it makes me feel hip when she's the main character. Anyway, so today's for the main characters, and we're all the main characters. You know, it's just kind of podcasters are main characters, I guess. So today we're gonna have a good time and talk some Disney. So joining me, my buddy up in East Lansing, he is the master that puts everything together over at Must See Adventures, and you must see it this weekend. Scotty G, what's going on, Scott?
Happy Friday. Something we didn't talk about earlier on Wednesday's episode, I was just thinking, is that I hope everyone's surviving daylight saving, because I know it's always rough. I dislike it personally, but I am loving the extra sunshine that I have right here, because normally it would be pitch black while I was podcasting right now, but I still have lots of daylight left, so that's awesome.
And you can tell like we are getting older in age because every show starts with either a weather report or how light or dark it is outside. I love that about our show, that we've been around 17 years at this point, and that's where we've gone.
Yep.
Stay off our grass, if you please. So our podcasting grass. All right. Also joining us, we have Rikki from a Disney World afterall.com and the Mouse for Less. Happy Friday, Rikki. We made it to another Friday.
Happy Friday. And I am sad because I'm not in Walt Disney World this weekend. So, you know,
I mean, if you're there every weekend, it's not as special. You got to come home and earn the bucks to go back.
It is true. It is true. So yeah, I've got big plans this weekend though of getting my oil changed. Because
See,
I drove back from Florida and my light came on. And it's like, you need to get an oil change. I'm like, uh-oh. So yeah, oil change. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey,
this is the what it's like to be an adult podcast episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to be our show. Yeah. We should go back in 2008 and listen to our intros, like about how fancy, like we were just carefree, you know, back then. Now it's just, oh my gosh, life and sore bodies and all that stuff. It's crazy. All right. We have a Karnak. Let me get to the envelope here. We're going to kick off another Karnak from 2014. If you have a Karnak, and if you know what a Karnak is, you can send in one for a show intro. Mike at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Just put Karnak in the headline and we will get that as an intro to a new show, because right now the last time we did these was 2014, but Scott and I got talking about these a couple of weeks ago and they're still cracking me up because one, they're a time capsule of 11 years ago at Walt Disney World, especially today's. And two, I don't know. I find these things hilarious. So here we go. Let me get the envelope. Got to blow into it. And the answer says, we dig. Like
What we do with our wallets.
That's a good answer. Scott, what do you think? Maybe
The haunted mansion gravediggers during the Halloween party. I got nothing.
Oh my gosh, you guys almost both got it. You guys were right around it. But correct answer is, what does the construction crew at the downtown Disney parking garage site sing the whole day through?
Yeah, that's true.
The parking garage.
Isn't that awesome?
I'll never. I won't say the name of this podcaster because we don't want to talk about this person, but I just remember the rants that they would do about this parking garage for about 3 years straight.
Took them forever. It
did take a long time. It did take a long time.
Yep.
Remember though how we did like that was it is kind of funny, right? Because we're in 2025 and right now the Rivers of America thing is happening, and like we will survive this. Like we will. They put in Jack Sparrow to Pirates of the Caribbean. There's been they had the cabanas in Tomorrowland for a hot minute. Okay, that was a terrible idea. We all agree that was stupid. That was the dumbest thing in the history of the world. But I mean, we've gone through all these. Some things we like thought the world was going to end, and guess they messed with the Haunted Mansion, but it was for the better. With like the staircases and stuff, the Escher stuff. We've made it, like, and I'm not the biggest fan of I love Rivers of America. I talked about that on Sunday night, the call-in show. Like I think aesthetically it's beautiful, and I'm not real hot on that change. I think maybe they could put car stuff somewhere else possibly, but you know what, in the grand scheme of things, in a decade, we're all still probably going to be Disney fans. We're all going to be all right, but like, I remember that for a hot minute, man, people were hot about that parking garage. You know what? It's kind of nice to be able to park it Disney Springs now.
But dig though is so great because it took multiple years, I think, for a parking garage.
Multiple years. Yeah.
Nothing happens real fast down at Walt Disney World. Speed
no.
a thing.
No.
Okay. So today I thought we would talk about main characters and extroverts and Walt Disney World, and just kind of go around and talk about where our extroverted friends might enjoy experiences around the parks and resorts. So if you have a family member or a friend and you're traveling and you think, where can I really get them a fun experience? A restaurant, a show, an attraction. Where might they really have a good time? And the first, I'll give you, just kind of lead us off because I threw this on you kind of, 20 minutes ago.
I got like 8 answers already.
You do. You're on. Okay, you're on.
I have a few. I've been writing them down. Yeah.
Then I won't lead us off.
No, you go ahead.
Well, the first one I kind of thought of when I came up with this idea this afternoon, when I was working, was like the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular show at the Hollywood Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, most people aren't going to get in there or be up on stage, but there is a slight, you got to volunteer for it too. I mean, you're not going to probably get up there unless you volunteer. But if you're an extrovert and you raise your hand and you're sitting up kind of close, you can get up on stage and be a part of the show. And if you are a main character type or an extrovert, we can kind of go back and forth with that today. I kind of like that. You can live like your best day being a part of that show, because I know I've been up on that stage. I know Scott's been up on that stage. Rikki, have you been up on that stage?
I have not actually. I'm gonna throw a hot take. I don't know. I am kind of I've only seen Indiana Jones once. So yeah, I've only done it once. I was like, that's good enough. And part of it is just because I never know what time it's showing, and I never like look in the app. I don't care enough to look in the app to see when it's showing, because it's not something that does it for me. Like I'm not like, wow, the Indiana Jones thing, let's go see that. But Indy also isn't a movie that I've never seen Indiana Jones. I've never seen a single Indiana Jones movie. So yeah, I don't have a real connection to it either. So that might be why. But yeah, I've only seen it the one time.
I've only seen it a couple times, but I do like the show because the show's got like fire and airplanes blowing up and great stunt sequences. But yeah, we've been up there, and like I remember, like, because it was like one of our very first trips. Paige was pretty young back then, and when I was up there, Paige was like kind of embarrassed that I was up there, and that was half the fun. And then John Pelkey was one of the people on the stage, the Run Disney announcer. And I think he got punched. He took a punch or something. And I did, like, I was totally, this was before we had a podcast or anything. I was like a green, Disney fan. I had no idea what was going on. Because back then you didn't know everything. Like, you didn't have all these videos in your hand all the time. You had like guidebooks from the library, which were 2 years old when you read them. Dude, when he got punched, or that guy, I thought he really got jacked at first. I'm like, what is going on, dude? They just lit this guy up from the audience. Are we all getting lit up or what? I mean, I was like, it was crazy. And it was just, but it was fun for like an extrovert, but it would have killed an introvert, like being in front of like that whole audience. I mean, I don't know how many people are in there, a couple thousand, I don't know. Scott, what was your experience with Indiana Jones? I mean, it was great for
the same thing. The same thing. Like, I just thought of a great podcast idea. We could talk about moments in the parks or whatever where you were just like really like taken surprised by, because like I have a few of them where like you like spoiler free going into something and like, whoa, did that just really happen? Exactly. Like, I actually believed that person like got like smoked like, with a punch. Like,
no way.
And I just like, I think I grabbed Elizabeth's leg, like, oh my god, is that person okay? They just volunteered for this show and just got smoked.
That's what I thought too.
Like, she had seen it before, like as a kid. Like, so Elizabeth did go like one time with her family, and because the show has never really changed, so she remembered actually, and like she thought I was so gullible for that. But like, man, I thought it was so real. It was awesome.
And I think they're really good about picking, like the typical kind of Midwestern looking dad guy to get up there. Right. I mean, because I was like a target, because maybe I just have gullible written all over me. Like, this sucker's going up on the stage. And like, I guess you did too. Like, we're getting this guy up there.
It was Pelkey though. Pelkey was my guy. He didn't get punched. He was like the director, like the guy.
Because the stunt guy, I think, takes the hit. Because because he was
in the audience, always wearing like a Aloha shirt or whatever.
Yeah. See, now you can. Yeah, there's a trick to know who he is. Yeah, but he came out of the audience because he was like a real eager volunteer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, wow, that guy really wants to get on stage.
Yes. And then he got lit up. Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. All right, Scott, give us another thing though. That's kind of a good start.
Okay, so if I'm an extrovert, a main character, which I kind of am.
Yeah, we all are.
Like, a place I would love to go to, especially if I'm like by myself and no one is with me, I'm going to Trader Sam's Grog Grotto.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna have a riot of a time in here. A riot of a time? That's kind of weird. I'm gonna have a ball though. I could just go up to a bar and just interact with everyone, just like hooting and hollering, having an awesome time, getting the drinks, like where they do all these like celebrations. Anytime someone orders like a specialty cocktail, get to talk to the servers and bartenders. I just think that would be the perfect scene for an extrovert.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think extroverts there are just going to enjoy the whole experience more. And even if like your party goes together, if you have an extrovert in the party, it's going to make everybody have, because the bartenders they're looking for that, because they're going to want to, do the songs, the chants.
They're going to buy into you a little bit. Like, oh yeah, I'm feeding off their energy, so I'm going to give it even more now.
Yeah. I mean, if you get like 3 introverts together at Trader Sam's, they'll serve you the drink, but they're going to read the room, right? They're not going to poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to let you enjoy your drink, which, I mean, if you're 3 introverts, that's probably what you want. I mean, that'd be your
and everyone the experience will still be great for everybody that goes in there, but the extrovert might just have like a little happier time, maybe.
Exactly. All right, Rikki, what do you got? You're muted.
Sorry, I have screaming daughter downstairs, so I make sure I mute up before when I'm not talking to make sure you don't hear her. So, okay, so I am surprised that you all didn't take this one, and I'm going to take it because it's like easy layup dunk. I mean, hello, you gotta, if you're an extrovert, you go in here all excited and like, yeah, let's go. If you're an introvert, like, maybe my brother who hates this, you're not raring to go here. And that's Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Yeah, Monsters Inc. And the problem with Monsters Inc. is that you don't know if you're gonna get picked.
I love it. I'm kind of always on edge, but I do like the that spotlight could hit you at any time.
It could, and it has hit me before. And you're like, okay. But you know, if you don't want to get hit, you really have no idea. So yeah, I mean, you could end up on that screen, and
That
some
guy.
some people you can tell they really are appreciative of the fact that they're ending up on the screen. Some people you can tell that they're like, oh no. So you know, there's that. But then there's also the audience participation that also occurs during the show where they, you know, do the little skits and stuff like that. So usually in that situation, somebody is a little more willing to volunteer and raise their hand. It's more just the scenes where, you know, they just pop you up on the screen there. That's a little more panic inducing for someone who's more of an introvert. So actually my brother, ironically enough, will not go on this attraction because he really hates the fact that they pop him up. But I think he had a bad experience one time. So he's like, no.
You think people really don't go on there because
yes,
they're gonna get picked?
Absolutely. My brother is one of them.
Thought about that.
My brother is absolutely one of them. He will not go on Monsters Inc. because he does not want to get picked. Yes.
That's so
See,
funny.
I want to, and I never do.
Yeah, see, there's the thing. Like extroverts are like, let's go.
This is why Scott and I are brothers, man, because I'm like, I just want to be that guy. I just want to be that guy.
Yes.
I want to so bad.
Yes. Yes. No. Yeah, he's definitely like he avoids that attraction most of the time.
It doesn't have to be that guy. I just want to be on the screen somewhere in the lights.
So don't go on Monsters Inc. if you are a complete introvert because you
or just go with me because you won't go on. So
yeah, there's that too.
Well, and here's another thing about that. This is kind of mean, right? But I mean, don't we all kind of as an audience like when they put the spotlight on a total introvert? Like that is the best because it's like you just see him just like
cringe.
Like
yeah.
I mean, purposely try to find someone that's panicking, like that's like sweating a little bit, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna put the spot on them.
Oh, because you know that they can see the whole audience, so they're looking to see who they want to pick. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel. I mean, because I've been on a couple times, right? And like I've had people near me on it, right? So you like that light comes on.
Oh yeah.
And if it's
it's bright and it's hot.
Even if it's not you, but if it's somebody nearby, like you feel like the kind of the
panic
outside edge of the light.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh my gosh, it's close.
Yeah.
You're just like, is it on
me?
me? Then you look on the screen. Yeah. Oh my god, that's a good one, dude. That is an introvert's worst nightmare.
Yes. I'm surprised y'all didn't take that one first because I'm like, it's such an easy layup.
No, there's lots. Okay, my next one going through is a restaurant. It's 50's Primetime Cafe.
Yep, that was on my list for sure.
You do not want to eat at 50's Primetime. It's right next to Indiana Jones. This is like Extrovert Alley right there. Now that I think about it, because they're next door to each other. So go to the show, watch somebody get smoked in the jaw, be amazed, and then go have some, have a peanut butter and jelly shake and some fried chicken. And somebody could be riding you for 45 minutes throughout your meal. And you just be like, if you're an introvert, this could be just your worst nightmare. Because like, get your elbows off the table, get off your walkie-talkie. And you're just like, if you're an introvert, you're just like, man, I just came here to eat dinner and just have nobody talk to me. And if you get the right cousin serving you, you are not getting that at 50's Primetime. It just depends. Sometimes they don't bother you at all. But I like the interaction. Like I feed into it. Like I don't necessarily like sit there and bam my elbows on the table and do stuff like that. But I also like to have some of that interaction too, because that's the whole shtick of 50's Primetime. So
yeah, I want to get yelled at so bad.
I mean, I don't give them a hard time about it, but yeah, it's like, you want a little bit of it. You want them to come out, and do some of the stuff like, set the table and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think an introvert would kind of be a little on edge at 50's Primetime.
Absolutely.
I would say so.
I'm just thinking my brother probably would not like that meal. My brother and Ricky's brother can hang out. I'm starting to think. But
shout out Bob, happy birthday this week.
Oh,
yeah. All right, Scott, what you got?
Thought you might have gone with a different restaurant almost though.
Oh,
no, I don't necessarily want to go that route, but so I'm thinking of something kind of interesting that I don't even know if this happens every night, but you definitely see at hard ticket events at the Magic Kingdom. But in Tomorrowland, they'll do these like dance parties. And if you're an introvert, you want to stay far away from Tomorrowland, I feel like, because the characters come out and then like you're dancing with all these people. And so, I mean, you can avoid it. But again, I'm a main character. I am rushing the stage. I'm trying to get up with those characters and start dancing. If find me the host, like can give me the microphone. I want to sing too with everyone. But I think those are so much fun for extroverted people. You're just out in the Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland and just hooting and hollering, having an awesome dance party.
That's right. And your friends and family can get some awesome video of you being, you're on stage, you're a part of the show, you're in there. And I think that's the whole thing.
It's like a mosh pit. Like sometimes, man, it gets crazy in there. I love them. Now, do they do those like on every night, or are those just hard tickets? I'm starting to wonder.
Only hard ticket.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah. Every time I walk into Tomorrowland, and I see the stage, there's always the sign that says,
and it makes you sad. Like
nothing happening today. Yeah,
that should be happening every night.
Yeah. It would be so easy to do too. Just get a DJ up there. You got the stage already, ready to go.
And a DJ is not that hard to pay. DJs, it's one person. I mean, you pay them well, but it's one person. You get return on investment for that. Everybody's happy.
But they're so cool because you can dance with the characters. Like this last time, like the Zootopia characters were out, like during the Christmas party. Me and Emily, like I think we just got off Space Mountain and we could hear the music. We just rushed the stage, man. We were just ready to start dancing with Judy Hopps, man. It was awesome.
Get your hops on with Judy Hopps.
There you go.
That's ready to DJ. All right, Rikki, what do you got? Give us another one.
Well, I'm going to take the one that I think Scott was thinking of for a restaurant. Yeah, I think it's a good call because I've had some amazing experiences here, and it's been some of the most fun times I've had, and that's at Whispering Canyon Cafe. I mean, seriously, again, if you go there and you can tell the server, hey, look, I just want to eat. I don't want to be part of the shtick. I don't want to have.
It's like the Brazilian steakhouse thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I look, if I'm asking for ketchup, I really just want one ketchup. I don't want the whole, table full of ketchup or whatever. So you can kind of let them know that you're not into it. And I believe you could probably do the same thing if it's East Prime Time if you've ever, if you go there. But for me, it's always been so fun to go to Whispering Canyon. I don't love the ketchup part, but the other parts I do enjoy because they just have fun with you. They really just have a blast. One time I was dressed up, it was for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So I was dressed up as Cruella DeVille, and they brought me over puppies, which was whipped cream with chocolate syrup drizzled on top. Like it was just kind of fun stuff like that. And they've one time Brian had his phone out, and they yelled at him for having his phone and talking on it, and they literally put him in jail. So there's just some fun things that happen at Whispering Canyon that the servers will do with you, and it's seriously so much fun. But again, if you're not an extrovert, you would probably not.
Can Casey handle that meal? Has he done that one?
I think he has, but we haven't done it together. I don't think so. Because usually, if I go for breakfast, and he's usually not up then. So, yeah.
You're up for breakfast?
Yeah, breakfast goes to like noon, so I'm up for breakfast there usually. Yeah. But I love Whispering Canyon. It's great. Hey, I want you all to know that I made it to breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno this weekend at a 10:30 reservation. So I just want you to know, I know, look at that. I mean, I had to be out of my hotel at 10 o'clock, which I thought was a weird time to have to be out of your hotel room, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of like a classic attraction. I don't know if this one would be fine for introverts or not, more towards the extrovert side. This one's kind of a conservative add to the, these other ones are like extreme pretty much. Like, dude, introverts don't want to touch.
Don't take mine.
It's Jungle Cruise.
Oh,
it's not really extreme, right?
I get that.
You're probably safe. It's probably safe for introverts, but extroverts might enjoy it more because of the ironic humor, and you can kind of get to be a part. I mean, main characters are kind of frowned upon on that because the Jungle Skipper is the main character. Obviously, let them be the main character, but sometimes a skipper will draw you in.
Yeah.
This could be an introvert's worst nightmare. Occasionally, not all the time. It's up to the skipper, but the skipper will interact with the people on the boat sometimes, not very often, but I mean, sometimes like they'll interact with the people on the boat. And if you're an extreme introvert, that could be your worst nightmare. But
I think they purposely it's kind of like what we were talking about, like at the Monsters Inc. Laugh for. Like sometimes they'll notice someone that seems like they're not going to do well with this, so those are the people they kind of call out.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say everybody's safe for a Jungle Cruise. You don't have to ever worry about riding Jungle Cruise, but every once in a while, you get some skipper with a hair up the rear end that wants to mess with people. And it's hilarious for us main character people because we think it's funny. But I mean, I would imagine that if you're an extreme introvert, probably not your best day. But it rarely happens. But you got to remember, you're probably dealing with 20-year-old kids on the college program every once in a while too that probably don't make great calls. All right, so Scott, what do you got?
That's funny. So Len put one in the chat. I actually had that on my list because I thought you were going to use it though at one point, Mike. So I didn't say
Yeah,
it.
it's a good one.
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
So, and for those listening that are in the chat, it was beer garden. I think beer garden.
Yes, yeah.
We are 98% audio podcast here, so that really helps.
So we may want to share. Yeah.
Which would be, I mean, that's not my answer, but I think that is a really good restaurant one. Like if you're introverted, like, I don't know, I might have to sit with another family. But I know, Mike, you've done that a bunch going solo many times.
We still haven't said what it is. It's beer garden.
Because I thought I did say it. Oh,
no, I don't think he did. It's beer
he
garden.
did. He said it. He said beer garden.
I didn't hear. I'm again old and didn't hear. We're talking beer garden in Germany over at Epcot because you have to sit with other people and make for. And yeah, my story again is like 3 years ago. I was down on a solo trip. I was hungry. I was starving. I was totally by myself. I just walked up to beer garden, said, "You got space for one?" They're like, "Yeah, come on in." And again, it's communal seating. Sat down with a total family. I had no idea who they were. Ended up they listened to the podcast. I was like, they knew my voice. I'm like, shut up. Like, what are the chances I'd be sitting with a family that knows the show? They're from Illinois. Because I was like, I showed them my pop socket on my phone. Like, oh yeah, we listen to your show. And they like, we knew your voice sounded familiar. And so then it was like, we're all family here. We're eating schnitzel and, Black Forest brownies for dessert. It was the greatest time ever. But as an introvert, dude, don't go there. I'm just saying, like, it'd be that would not be fun, I don't think. Because you're not sitting by yourself. You're not going to sit there and read a book.
For sure.
Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
So I had this as my backup to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. On my sheet because I figured someone was going to take it.
Yep.
That was Ricky's first pick. So this is more for the kids. So we haven't.
This was also on my list.
We haven't talked about children yet. So they're extroverted children, but this is more so like this is awful for the introverted children, and your parents will always make you want to do this. Which is I've seen meltdowns happen in this attraction so many times because of parents forcing their kids on this, and this is Turtle Talk with Crush.
Absolutely, it was one of mine. Yes,
dude.
I've seen parents forcing their kids to sit in the ocean with Crush, and then they just come back crying, like, "No, I don't like it." So, but your extroverted ones are great because they'll ask some awesome questions, to Crush and the gang.
I love the questions because sometimes they're a little bit inappropriate.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Not really inappropriate. They share a little bit too much information sometimes.
Right.
And it makes everybody like, woo.
You had a Magical Miles Radio had a clip of this that I listened to all the time. It was so funny. Because like they would go to the adults too, which they do, but like this is I don't know because Emily is 17 now, but like I feel like this is almost like a forgotten like classic attraction. I still love it. I love, and like we'll still go like and just in the audience obviously because Emily's like an adult, but I just love sitting in the back of that room and just it's kind of funny observing the parents and the kids like freaking out, but then like once the show gets going, it's so entertaining. So if you have extroverted children, put them in the ocean with Crush, man, it's awesome.
That's such a good call, and it is good for adults.
We took Lucy in there last trip. She wasn't quite ready for it, so we ended up leaving. But yeah, we tried. So
yeah, it is. I mean, I'm with Scott too. Like, when's the last time you heard anybody mention Turtle Talk with Crush?
I don't hear about it that much.
It's buried though in the Seas Pavilion. It's just people think, oh, the Seas Pavilion's got the Nemo ride, but nobody ever mentions, and it's such a cool experience.
Yeah, and some of the stuff is. A lot of the questions are like the same. I hear the same questions asked every time because kids just have the same questions think about. But like still, like it feels different a lot every time you do it, and the question, like the adult interaction too. Like I crack up during that show, and like as an adult with an adult child, like it's still entertaining as heck for me. So highly encourage you on your next Epcot trip to check it out.
And we should probably throw in real quick because Len is adding, as is K-Tiki. Both.
Hey, Len, that's mine.
Okay, well, Rikki has it because this is kind of adjacent to that kind of similar experience where kids could possibly melt down. But go ahead.
You are not wrong. Okay, so that is mine. It's totally on my list. I have Enchanted Tales with Belle, and I'll kind of tie this into a different one too, since he kind of mentioned it, but Enchanted Tales with Belle, for those who don't know, it's kind of like a character, a plus experience where you go in and they pick kids, most of the time volunteer, but sometimes not so much, usually volunteer though, to want to be part of the show, of the retelling of when Belle and Beast fell in love. And so, you know, they go in and they see Belle and they have this character interaction and they kind of go up on the stage. I use that in quotes because it's just in the front, and get to, you know, tell the story. And oh my gosh, it is seriously, this is one of those times where my husband got embarrassed because he was chosen as the knight. They do choose two gentlemen to be partake in the show, and my husband was chosen, and he absolutely was so embarrassed by this one.
Oh, hang on. Brian is a main character for sure.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Yeah,
sometimes
Brian's a
he's
main
actually not. He can be, but
Okay,
in this instance, he
can
was
be.
not a main character.
I'm just gonna throw out there. I'm batting 1,000 at this. I think I'm like a 5 for 5 or 6 for 6
Yeah,
on being a knight of a suit of armor.
that's
I've
amazing.
never not been
you just
one.
have that look, right?
Yeah, I've always been a knight too.
Well,
yeah.
I always stand on the very end too.
Oh,
Like that is my hack. Like I stand on the end,
Yeah,
and then I just do the most outrageous like marching, and like how could they not pick me, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
we're definitely official knights here. You'd
Yeah.
call Sir Mike and Sir Scott from now on.
Got it.
Exactly.
Yes,
We've done it before, actually. Me and Mike were the same night. in the
Absolutely.
same
Yeah,
show once.
Belle was well protected that day.
she was. That's good. That's good. That's good. So
KT
Um,
says her husband.
That's a great pick, though. I totally agree.
it
And,
is.
like,
It is.
yeah, if
But-
it's a lot of adults, sometimes they're like really struggling to like find like children.
Kids to be a part
Yeah.
of the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen them include adults sometimes, but usually, yeah, it's just the kiddos who, you know, do that. But I will throw in one more just to kind of like tie in, because it's kind of like a tie-in. This is like a character experience plus, so like it's a character meet and greet plus, you know, like you're meeting Belle, but there's a story tied to it. However, I will say for introverts, meeting characters is not the best thing in the entire world. Extroverts do a little bit better. However, even I still have trouble sometimes meeting characters, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. It's better now that I have Lucy, because I at least have her to, you know, toddle around. Although she hates meeting characters right now, so maybe someday she will like it. But you know, actually meeting characters and having, for me, it's really more the face characters I have a little more trouble with. Because
Same.
you
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
have,
yeah.
you have to have an interaction with them, and yeah, sometimes that could be awkward. I do a little bit better, you know, with, you know, characters like Mickey and Minnie and stuff like that, where they have to pantomime too. So that's a little bit better. I don't know why, but yeah, it's still kind of nerve-wracking, even for an extrovert, to actually meet characters, because you just are like, I don't know what to talk about, and I don't want to just stand here and take a picture. So what are we gonna do? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
that's
with you.
fine.
I'm with you, because that is kind of can be an awkward situation, especially like as an adult without kids, and you're trying to
Yes.
make that's especially face characters.
Exactly.
It's easier with like just meet Mickey Mouse, because he's not going to talk back. He's
Right.
gonna, "Meow," yeah. Or, you know, make the sounds in my head. He doesn't make the sounds. I do in my head. Like he's going, "Meow," I don't know, or whatever. I'm an
That's
idiot.
good.
Okay, so I'm going to steal Jason's, because he's up in Michigan here, and he's tuning on live on Facebook. Appreciate him being here. And I think that a place that introverts probably squirm and extroverts can have an enjoyable experience throughout property is Disney transportation in general. He mentioned,
Yeah.
want to make friends real fast, get in a Skyliner with random other extroverts. So I have had, I love talking Disney with other folks on Disney transportation, like especially Skyliner bucket. You know, I'm on a solo trip. I get in there with other people, and by the time we're, you know, hit Epcot or hit Caribbean Beach, man, it's like we're friends. Like, hey, you know, what'd you do today? You know, where are you from? And that's just me. You know, like it's like we just did a 7-minute podcast. You know, it's like we had a good time. Same thing on a boat, on a bus. It
You
doesn't
should
matter.
record footage for that for future episodes. It'd be so good. Random Skyliner conversations.
It's like, yeah, didn't they do like something in a cab, like Seinfeld or somebody did? But yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I think that, you know, a lot of introverts probably, you know, like, please give me my own cab, you know, like on the Skyliner, and, you know, hopefully this bus is not full. I can get a couple of, you know, Len says, and I agree, like introverts probably love the social distancing back in the day during COVID, where we must keep 4 seats between us and the next guest. I mean, that's perfect, right? But I'm a people person. I just love, if you got on a Disney cruise line hat of, hey, you just get back from a cruise. Did you enjoy it? I don't know, you got to read the room. Sometimes people don't want to talk, but if you're at Walt Disney World, you're probably a Disney fan and you have that in common. Or if somebody's got a LSU, gear on, hey, what'd you think of the Tigers this year? Boom. I mean, LSU fans going to talk your football the whole rest of the way. I promise you that. Trust me. So you find that connection and you make a friend there for a few minutes. That's just kind of an extra. But Disney transportation really lends itself to to connections there. So let's go one more time for Scott and Rikki, and we'll call it a Friday. So we got Scott.
Mine's kind of on this line, and it's more like an extrovert for sure would seek this out, but it's like an introvert nightmare. I feel like. And that's single rider lines.
Okay, I get you.
That might be the winner of all. Totally.
I get it. Yes.
The lottery of
But because like an introvert is probably like by themselves anyway, too. Like I think a lot of the times, like, oh, I'm just gonna go spend some time by myself. But maybe they're like with a partner or family too. But like you cannot do single rider lines because you are going to have to talk to someone, maybe, or it's just going to be really awkward when you're sitting next to someone on Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever it might be. And like, yeah, it's just you got to kind of look at them, or you're on Expedition Everest, and like I am always talking to them, and then like I feel like they freak out.
No, that happened at like I did Everest single rider this past weekend, and like the lady that I was riding with didn't talk to me at all once, like didn't make eye contact.
See, and she was probably part of a group, and she was like, "Oh my god, now I have to sit next to a stranger." So it was even worse for them.
She's like, "Shut up."
She avoided the single rider line and still was in it.
And her two sons were in front of her, and yeah, like she like didn't look at me. She didn't say a single word to me. I didn't talk to her either because I'm like, I clearly don't want to be talked to.
I always talk to people.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those situations just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. But so me as an extrovert, I love the single rider lines because I love just talking to people. I'm like, oh, have you done this before? Like I ask them a bunch of questions, and they're probably like, I'm sure like I'm great family stories for people. Like, remember that one time like that one guy was so obnoxious to me?
So me too.
And then I'm in the photo like I'm like all crazy.
Exactly. Shooting deuces with them, man. It's like who's just like I don't know who that guy is.
So single rider lines, great for extroverts, awful for introverts.
That's the best call.
That's a good one. I like that.
It's like the introvert is like the big wheel spinning like on Let's Make It Do. There's like whatever it lands on is gonna be my worst nightmare. But if it's like Scott or I, it's like, oh my god, I just hit the worst spot ever.
Well, when Emily was younger, we would actually kind of scope it out, like okay, Emily, that family seems good for you. You can sit with them.
So funny. Oh my gosh, introverts right now are just sweating bullets through this book.
But then here's the thing. An introvert who is with a party of, say, an odd number of 3 or 5 or something like that, and they end up on, with a single rider, that's probably even worse for them.
That's just rude to your family member. You should never let that person be the odd one.
Yeah, because I'm sure that they're like, oh man, they're adding a single rider to my car.
I hope Len's party size next month is an even number.
Yeah, I agree.
Len has a really big trip coming up next month. And Len, do not email me to say this trip is canceling, because we're coming back next Friday with how to make an awesome trip for introverts. That's coming next Friday. We're going to save you. Give us 7 days. I promise you. We're going to make this right. Okay, Rikki, close us out. One more thing for extroverts.
So I feel like this is one as well, and it may not be a big one, but for an introverted kind of family or whatever, this may be like a worst case scenario, and that's Millennium Falcon, because they'll, if you are the ones who are in the front, then there's a huge amount of panic because you're driving the ship, right? So you got the people behind you who are mad at you because you're running into things. Exactly, no pressure there. Exactly. And then, if you are like a smaller group, they may add another party into your cabin because it's a party of 6. So then you're stuck with people that you don't know, and you have to work together to try to complete the mission of getting the coaxium. So like, it's a terrible situation for parties of 4 or less, because you really just are stuck because you've got somebody else in your cabin with you. So I feel like that's a pretty bad case for introverts for sure. If you're an extrovert, you're like, cool, more people the merrier. But yeah, introvert, no, not so much on that one.
Scott, I'm so impressed that Rikki knew coaxium. How about
Hey, look at me. I know things. Who knew?
That's so awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah, because I was almost gonna put like Rise of the Resistance almost on there because like
I thought of that too. Yeah.
like once you're like past like the stormtroopers, like the crew like will kind of talk to you and
They
interact with
will.
you, and that could be frightening.
Yeah.
And they are in character, and they will yell at you, and like if you are not up to play in that situation, you're like, dude, they were so rude to me. But it's part of
they might need one of those detonator bottles, right, Mike?
yeah.
Exactly. If you know, you know, as they say on the internet. All right. Well, hey, this is fun today. Next week we'll do introverts will struggle. I mean, because
I do feel like we're gonna struggle on that one.
Hopefully, I won't be called for next week's episode.
Scott's already like, no, I'm good. I'm out.
I don't know anything about being an introvert, but I'll try to fake it till you make it. Next, so we'll need suggestions in the clubhouse. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/clubhouse. Please help me. But yeah, we're going to do that and continue. Go over to the clubhouse and give us some more suggestions. We'll continue the conversation through the weekend as far as other experiences for main characters around Walt Disney World. Where do main characters and extroverts thrive? And we'll have some fun with that on the thread. We just love talking about this. It's fun. And we'll do that on Sunday night as well. We'll have the call-in show, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Give us a listen. Throw it on the big TV as you wrap up the weekend on Sunday night. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And give us a call. We'd love to take your call and continue the conversation on Sunday night. Don't forget today's show and all our shows, always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel, proudly. And we'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Just check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. Just $5 a month is all it takes to support the show. And we really appreciate that. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. You can follow us on the social media at Be Our Guest Mike is where you'll find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. You can follow Scott at EpScott, EPSCOT, and Rikki Nibs at RIKKINIBS is where you'll find Rikki. Scott's also over on YouTube. Check out his channel as he pushes for 1,000 subscribers here soon at Must See Adventures. Again, Scott, real quick, what's happening over on the channel?
It's a shorter episode, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do like daily episodes or like just do one long episode of our trip. So I didn't really record a lot of footage this day. So it's going to be our featuring the Hoop-de-Doo at Christmas, which is awesome. So hanging out at the fort, hanging out at Hollywood Studios. I tried an interesting snack at Primo Piatto. You got to check it out.
Oh, Primo Piatto. Chef's kiss.
Very interesting snack, Mike. I don't even know if you'd like it or not. So you have to tune in and see it.
Tuning in. All right, Rikki, what's happening over on a Disney World afterall.com news and reviews, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we got some reviews coming up, some big stuff there. And on the socials, I've got some videos that I recorded this past weekend that I'm getting edited up, as well as, additional news and stuff like that I'll edit a video for, with whatever's breaking or anything like that. So make sure you follow along. If you want to see what's going on at the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival this week, though, you definitely want to check it out because I've got a video that's coming up for that. So if you're going to the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, this is the video you want to see.
And get me one of those fancy Bomkuchkins.
See, I didn't get one of those. There was a huge line.
I almost went over on Saturday night because I left Olivia's at like 7:45 and Epcot closed at 9, but I was like, my stomach was kind of hurting. So I was like, I really don't need one. Oh, and I didn't tell the story I was going to tell real quick. I had beignets back in the room left over from French Quarter the night before. My dad didn't know what a beignet was. So we had gone to Olivia's the day before and had dinner. And he said Olivia's was the best meal he had had in over a year. He loved the buttermilk chicken. Loved it. So good thing.
It's good. It's a good meal.
So we were going to have dessert. We had dessert the night before at Coronado. That's where we're staying. I said, you know what? We're going to have a different dessert because we had a car. We're at Old Key West, right next to French Quarter, because of Veronica and Jason and all their adventures at French Quarter with Mardi Gras and everything that week before, and I'd seen all the beignets. I'm like, I'm taking you over to show you one more hotel while we're in the neighborhood. So I showed him French Quarter. I was like, and we're going to get a cool dessert. So I got into, get the beignets. He didn't even know what a beignet was. My dad is like, what are we getting? What are those called? I was like, a beignet. He's like, what's a beignet? I'm like, don't you work for the Rams? Don't you go to New Orleans all the time? Like, you've been there for a Super Bowl. You've been there you're for like playoff games with the Rams. Like, you go down there when they play the Saints. He's been to New Orleans multiple times. He's never had a beignet. He didn't know what a beignet was. I'm like, dude, it's a donut. It's a donut. It's a Mickey shaped donut with powdered sugar. He fell in love with them because we took him back to the hotel room. Did you powdered sugar all over my dad? Just all over the bed, all over the nightstand. I was trying to keep it off my phone. It was powdered sugar was everywhere. But by the way, my dad loves Mickey shaped beignets now, just for the record.
Yeah, those are my favorite too. I love those ones.
But I mean, the clubhouse, again, friends of the podcast, Jason, Veronica, bad influences, but God, those beignets were good. And but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that was awesome. So anyway, we're gonna close it out.
That's why you didn't go to Epcot. I
No,
don't
I didn't get
beignets in the room.
I had like 4 more beignets because he's like, we're getting a 6-pack. I'm like,
yeah,
to get a 3-pack. You kidding me? We're here.
Yeah. Well, you would have waited a really long time in line for a Baumkuchen because mobile order. I think that one you had to mobile order actually, and it was when I looked the night before. It was a 30 to 45 minute wait for for the cafe. So I was like, nah, I'm good. And the line for Starbucks was ridiculously long too. So you missed out, but you didn't miss out. You're fine.
I just went back and ate a couple more beignets in the room, and my stomach was hurting anyway, but I was like, I'm not wasting these beignets. So boom. And I was like my dad was gone by that point.
I don't know how you save the beignets. I can't. Like,
you just devour them all in one sitting, right? Yeah.
Oh, we had 6. There was only 2 of us. I mean, there was a lot.
And your point. I mean, Scott and I are both like, and you each have 3.
I always have my own 3-pack. What are you talking about?
I know. And it's why I love our friends.
I don't usually have my own 3-pack, just for the record. That's only after a Run Disney race.
Exactly. All right, we're jumping out of here. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday night. Let's talk some Disney. For Scott and Rikki, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Look at this. It's still light out.
Yeah, I know. Same.
And it is 75 degrees here right now. I'm going to peel the top back on the Jeep and roll with Riley once I get these edited to Taco Bell.
Nice. I'm going to go
I think I'm grilling. I think I'm actually grilling.
Nice.
I'm going to go eat quesadillas.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
All right.
It's the only thing Brian can cook. He knows how to grill ground beef, and he knows how to put the taco seasoning in it. So then I finish it up with the cheese and the tortillas. So it's the only thing he's got in his arsenal.
Those are 2 good episodes. Well done.
Yes, good job, guys.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks so much.
All right, see y'all.
Have a good week. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.